Welcome to Pink Kink,
where we are ready to guide you through the wild and wonderful world of kink.
I'm Princess Rara.
And I'm Dara, the Electro Khaleesi.
Whether you are a baby kinkster, a seasoned pro, or just here for the entertainment, Pink Kink will help you level up your kink knowledge.
Join us as we share our own wild, sometimes awkward, but always entertaining experiences and spill the tea from our combined 30 plus years in the private and professional kink worlds.
So grab your favorite flogger or wand.
Thank you.
And buckle up. You'll learn, you'll laugh, and who knows, you might just spit out your coffee.
Let's get this kinky party started.
Want more Pink Kink in your life? Join our Patreon and get ready for a whole lot of kinky fun and exclusive perks.
As a patron, you'll unlock access to our private Discord server where you can connect with fellow kinksters and chat directly with us. You'll also score adorable Pink Kink stickers and enjoy a monthly behind-the-scenes podcast packed with juicy tidbits we don't share anywhere else. Plus, get sweet discounts at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique, and on our online classes at Pink Kink Institute.
But wait, there's more.
More?
Our impactful and electrifying Pink Kinksters get extras, such as bonus content and free digital downloads. Oh, and let's not forget, the Pink Standard of patrons will be recognized as producers on both the podcast and on our website, because we couldn't do this without you.
Pink Kink runs on the love and support of our amazing patrons, so join the party today. Visit us at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast or click on the link on pinkkinkpodcast.com.
Today's episode is produced by our electrifying Pink Kinksters. Thank you, Jay, Witcherman, Brianna Lynn, Daddy J, Fabe, William P., Claire, Lady Blooding, Naughty and Nice, Butte Pain, Manda Panda, Kat, Stefan, Shadow Phoenix, Christopher, Brian, Ruby Riot, Enchanted Sparrow, The Wombat, Impact Hazard, Twitch, The Midnight Girl, Sinful, J21, Daisy If You Do, AK Harley Chick, Serenity, Belle, Eric, Lady Affliction, Pumpkin Pie, Ms. Tourmaline, S'more, Hacksaw,
Wee Mad Beastie, Devoted Night, 3 a.m. Thoughts, Crash Override, Iro, Kinky Bear, Spiper No Spiping, Barbie, Navigator Bard, Frost, Coffee and Chaos, Mr. Pillsbury, Peaches, Mighty Owl, Baby Squirrel, Lady and Lex, Chaos Monster, Jessa Lady, Ophelia, Drew, Birchbeard, Lady to Kitten, Cydia Lemon, Noir, Freddie Queen, Princess Ree, Miss Isiv, Godex Bunny, Elysium Rose, Avalia, Gloria, Nora Morapora, and Brix.
I have no shtick today.
No shtick? What are we going to do?
I have no shtick. There's a reason behind why I have no shtick. But because I'm a bit of a sadist, I'm not going to tell the listeners why. If they want to know why, I will be talking about it in our monthly behind the scenes podcast that goes to our patrons.
Got you. Yeah.
So if you wanted to become a patron, you can join our patronage for as little as $2 a month, and then you will get the behind the scenes each month, as well as discounts on all of our other things that we have going on. And then you can find out why I have no shtick.
I think the spiel counts as a shtick.
Does it? Well, here's the other thing. I am in this is my new theme song right now. Every day I'm hustling, because I have so many projects right now that I am trying to promote.
May I suggest a different song?
Okay.
A diva is a woman. Like, I don't even. Hold on. What the fucking? Okay, so a diva is a female version of a hustler. So instead of saying you're a hustler, you're diva-ing.
Oh, honey, I've been accused of being a diva for many, many years.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's more appropriate.
I think I put something in our Discord server, which, again, if you become a patron, you can be a part of the Discord server, so you'll see this stuff.
Yeah, no, I think diva is the word for you.
I am promoting, and I listed the 4 things that I'm promoting at this point, and then all the different apps that I'm promoting it. I have a fucking spreadsheet where I list each day what graphic I'm putting up that day, and then all the different social media apps that I'm putting it up on, so I can have a check mark. I even have a column for, is the graphic made yet? And have all these check marks. And it is the only way that I can stay on top of all the shit that I am doing. So, sorry, right now, all I can think about is being a diva hustler. or a hustler diva, however we're going to use it.
Every day I'm diva-ing.
That's my shtick.
There you go. Okay. We'll go with that.
That's my whole fucking shtick.
We will go with that. That's fine.
I'm sorry. I haven't been able to actually kink in the sense of picking up a tool, though I did pick up. I did go to Home Depot. Because I am, talk about hustling, I am teaching a class in April for Wicked Grounds about pervertibles. So I went on a field trip to Home Depot, to look at different things and take pictures and video and put together even a TikTok video, because if you're going to hustle, you got to hustle on multiple platforms at the same time. And I picked up...
This is why I don't hustle.
And I picked up a hammer. It's like a hammer mallet.
Yeah. Can I sing it?
Go for it.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. Okay.
That is, I plan on hammering all through the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I bought
hammered?
this beautiful... No, I don't get hammered. Because I only need one drink and I'll be hammered. And I'm on so much different medication. I'm sure most of them I'm not allowed to drink with.
Who are you hammering, Rara?
I'm hammering Naughty and Nice, who came with me to the thing. In fact, it was really funny because in a different server, I posted a picture of my new toy, my mallet hammer, and I said I can't wait to hit somebody with it. And of course, I forget I'm not always dealing with people who are masochists and hardcore impact players. And so some of them were like, oh my God, who are you actually going to hit with this? And I'm like, okay, so the person that I'm hitting with is the one who found this mallet and went, oh, look, we've been looking for that, and pulled it off and gave it to me. So I know it is completely Naughty and Nice approved.
You people are nuts.
Yes, we are. So yeah, that is, I'm now taking that lovely hammer, and it has been added to my toy box, my toolbox, and I'm ready to go.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's black because I couldn't find one in pink, but black works.
Okay.
It's black like my soul. The soul of a sadist.
Truth.
Well, speaking of Toolbox, this episode today is part of my continuing series where I talk about a particular subject, one episode from the submissive side and one episode from the dominant side. So we did the episode about the submissive's toolbox, and now it is time to talk about the dominant's toolbox. Because when we think of dominant when it comes to power exchange, or I'm trying to rephrase these days and work with authority transfer, because I'm not loving the term power exchange anymore.
Explain.
Because the problem with power exchange is all the people who are, the old submissives have all the power.
Yeah.
Right. And then you go, well, no, but the submissives are giving away their power to the dominant. And I'm like, no, I want the submissives to hold on to their power. I want them to hold on to their power to say no, to have boundaries, to have limits, to have their safe words.
Good explanation.
So I don't want them to exchange. And in an exchange, person A gives something to person B and person B gives something to person A. And in a DS relationship, the D is not really exchanging anything per se, and especially not power. They're not giving the submissive their power. So I like the idea of this term authority transfer, where the submissive has transferred the authority to the dominant. So the dominant can make those rules and can make all those determinations. So I'm going to try to remember that I like that phrase.
Okay.
Because I'm old and I'm so used to saying power exchange, but I think I'm gonna try to say authority transfer now. And the dominance toolbox is about the fact that being a dominant is much more than just having that authority and being able to make those rules and being able to do the punishments. It's about the responsibility that the dominant is taking on of another person. It's about skill building. And by skill building, guess what, folks? I don't mean just the submissive skills, also the dominant skills. And then, of course, having the emotional intelligence to be able to make changes on the fly based upon how your submissive is doing. Being a dominant is a constant learning experience. I don't care how many years you've been doing this. you should still be learning.
Absolutely. You should never stop learning.
You should be constantly changing and growing as the dominant, as the partner, as a kinkster themselves. I read this quote somewhere and I really like this one. A good dom is like a well-stocked dungeon bag. You need more than just one tool to get the job done.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a great quote.
So that's what we're going to be talking about in this particular episode. The different things that you as the dominant can build on so that you can be the best dominant you possibly can be. So the first thing is, what are some of the core principles of dominance? Well, the first thing I for me personally, granted, remember, this is all about my opinions. Dar may or may not agree with me, which wouldn't be a shock. But the core principles of dominance, the first one is self-awareness and authenticity. Knowing yourself. What is your leadership style? Are you more structured, like a high protocol dom? Or are you more of a nurturer, like the caregiver, daddy, mommy dom? Are you somebody who is going to want really strict rules? Are you somebody who's going to want to be more flexible? Are you somebody who's going to want to include sadism? Is it somebody who really isn't to the sadism and isn't into the physical aspects, but you like the emotional and mental aspects? Like, what are your personal motivations for being a dominant? Are you in it for the control? Are you in it for the connection, for the caretaking, or just the thrill of authority transfer? I mean, Dar and I have talked about our own roles as dominant and how we want different things and we look at it from different angles. And it's about understanding yourself so that you can then make choices and decisions based upon your own self-awareness.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. The second thing is responsibility, the weight of the leadership, right? This is, I'm going to quote Marvel for all of my Marvel fans. With great power comes great responsibility. Do you know what that's even from?
With great power comes great responsibility?
Yes. Come on.
I can't, I know it. I just can't pinpoint the actual, wait, what the fuck is it?
I know everybody who's listening is yelling it out I want to hear you guys yell so loud that I can hear you. Come on, tell Dar what it is. Spider-Man
Oh, fucking A.
does whatever a spider can.
Okay, yeah. You know what the worst part about that is? I use that as an example to one point.
Well, now you know it's from Spider-Man.
I fucking used that video as an example for something. Oh, no.
Peter Parker's uncle.
Oh, no.
Says it to him.
It's called Words of the Wiser. It's a literary term. God damn it.
Dar's failed.
All right, I'm dead.
Okay. As the dominant, you are in charge of your submissive's safety, well-being, and emotional support. That's a lot of responsibility. Submissives are giving you their trust. They're being very vulnerable with you, and you need to handle that with care. If they are giving you their trust, then you need to be, if you want to keep their trust, you need to follow through on all your promises, right? It's very interesting, whether you are a caregiver or not. There's a lot of similarities as a dominant to being a parent, in the sense that if you make a promise to your submissive, you need to follow through. If you say, if you do A, then I'm going to do B, then you have to follow through on that. If you are flaking on scenes or forgetting check-ins, you are eroding the trust. One of the biggest things is, and I've heard submissives say this, they are breaking rules intentionally to see what their dominant does. Not because they want to get away with it. It's a test. Are you going to do what you said you're going to do if I break this rule? Or are you going to just let me get away with it? And I am telling you here and now, don't fucking let them get away with it. It is a test.
No, let them get away with it. Ha 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 ha.
That doesn't help. That's not helping.
Why? Speaking as the one who's trying to get away with shit.
Yeah. No. Take off your little hat
and
put on your dominant hat.
Okay. Well, then fuck that shit.
There you go. Thank you.
Squash it.
Thank you.
Beat it with a hammer.
Thank you.
Or a mallet.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay.
Did you see how I was trying to get away with shit?
I understand. That's fine. But I still led you in the right direction because, again,
You guided.
that is what you do as a dominant.
Because if you had told me, no, you're wrong, change your mind, I would have been like, fuck you.
No, but I guided you in the direction that I wanted you to go.
That's fine.
That's very dominant of me.
And did you see me pull a really super good switch right there?
I did.
Yeah.
Right there. Right in front of my eyes.
Right. I just
I
transformed.
I blinked and you switched.
I am such a good actress.
And the Academy Award goes to
Tara! Oh my God, I would like to thank all the little people.
I'm the little people.
I was about to say that. Namely, Rara.
I'm the little people.
She's the little pink one over there.
I am actually wearing pink today.
Yes, you are.
Wearing my favorite sweatshirt.
Let's see. Drink coffee, read, smut, be happy. Yep, that's accurate for her.
Being a dom should not be about just getting your way, right? It's about earning the right to lead your submissive. The third part of the core principles, again, my opinion here, is empathy and compassion. Dominance isn't just about being firm and being the authoritarian. I got the word. It's hard. I need more coffee. Authoritarian in the relationship. It's also about understanding. If your partner is breaking rules, why? Why are they breaking these rules? What's going on? Is it a test? Is it that there's something mentally going on? Is it that the rules aren't working? What you have to be understanding. You can't just go, shame, you're breaking the rules. You need to be aware of your submissive's emotional and physical state. Like I was just telling Dara, I am dealing right now with a pinched nerve. So when I tell you you're getting on my last nerve, I mean it.
She's only got one left, guys.
Right? And when I am in pain, I am extra bitch. I'm not going to try to claim that when I'm not in pain, I'm not a bitch.
Uber bitch.
I am uber bitch. And I really recognize it about myself and I want to be left alone.
Which, perfectly honest, that's fair. You're in pain. You don't have to be nice. So I know you think that's your thing. But you don't have to be nice.
Yes, but I don't have to take it out on everybody else when it's not their fault.
Oh, yeah. And I was just telling Rara that I did do that recently.
Yeah.
And I'm in trouble now.
So
maybe I should stop.
Yeah. So what I like to do is I like to be by myself. And then I can be the bitch that I need and want to be without taking it out on anybody else. Okay? If your submissive is in pain, maybe they are the same way that I am and they just want to be alone. And trying to get in their face would not be right. You need to adjust your approach in those moments when they need extra care. If your submissive is being quiet and reserved, do they need discipline? Do they need a hug? Do they need to be left alone? This is where the empathy and the compassion comes in. Sometimes dominance means knowing when to be soft, and sometimes it means knowing when to be firm. And I don't want to say the word harsh. That sounds so mean. So we'll just stick with firm, right?
I think firm's a good word.
Yeah. So you need to be aware of all this. I think that's important. So let's just talk about now what I think are the essential skills for a dominant. One of the interesting things, and it kind of goes back, is I think an essential skill for a dominant is having your shit together. I remember there being a conversation in a different group that I was in from somebody about, well, they don't really have their shit together, so can they be a dom?
Uh-huh.
And I don't think it's a matter of can or can't, because you are who you are. And whether you actually have a submissive or not, if you're a dominant, you're a dominant. I just think you will be a better dominant the more you have your shit together. None of us have our shit 100% together.
No.
Okay. On a good day, I'm at about 75%, and I'll take that.
I don't even want to calculate what I'm at.
Right. That's a good day for me, having my shit together, 75%. But I think working on getting your shit together is an important goal as a dominant. Because the more you have your own shit together, the more time you will have to help your submissive get their shit together.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Right. But some of the other essential skills for dominance. The first one is mastering communication. And you start that off by being an active listener. hearing what is being said, not just what you want to hear. And when I say hearing what is actually being said, I don't mean the words themselves, but the tone, reading between the lines. Now, I'm not talking about things like if you ask your submissive and you get the fine. What does fine mean, right? Or whatever. And we do want submissives to share information. But there's a difference between if your submissive says, I'm having a bad day, and just kind of leaves it at that. And now you are hearing their tone of voice and you can tell they're kind of gritting their teeth when they say it. So they're probably having a pain day, or their eyes are like half masked when they're saying it. So they're having a tired day, right? These are the things that you want to kind of look for, the body language that will help you understand. Ask open-ended questions to get real feedback. It's, if you keep something like yes or no, like, are you having a good day today? And all they can say is yes or no. Is that really giving you information?
No, you need open-ended questions.
Right? So you ask, how was your day today? I played this game with my kids where I would, at dinner time, we go around and I would say, tell me something good that happened today. Then tell me something bad that happened today. Tell me something you learned today. And then, of course, because we're Jewish, I would always say, tell me a mitzvah you did today. In other words, tell me something you did that helped somebody else today. Right?
That's fair.
So like come up with kind of questions like that when you sit down to have dinner or you're sitting on the sofa hugging and cuddling, open-ended questions like that they can answer, which then tells you more information than just, did you have a good day?
Yeah, you want to avoid yes or no's because, especially if somebody who doesn't really want to talk and you're trying to draw out the information, asking yes or no questions is going to be useless.
Right. And if your sub says, I'm fine, and your gut is telling you otherwise, listen to your gut. And here's just my opinion on if you happen to have a submissive who identifies as a woman and she says, I'm fine.
She's not fine.
Don't respond obnoxiously with like, well, that tells me nothing, or I can see you're not fine, right? This is the time where the empathy that I talked about before and the compassion come in. Be gentle, be kind, and work gently to find out what's actually going on. The next thing in communication is clarity and precision. Be really clear in how you instruct your submissive. If you say to them, go get ready, well, what does that mean? Go get ready. More precisely, you could say, go kneel by the bed, naked, hands behind your back, eyes down.
That's very specific.
Right? It really tell them exactly what you want. Because I will tell you, and as any person who identifies as a brat will tell you, if you give unclear instructions, you cannot be surprised when your submissive gets creatively disobedient, or as we call it, malicious compliance.
I like creatively disobedient too, actually.
Right? Remember, you give us a loophole, we will take the damn fucking loophole every time.
And that's a dom or a sub.
Right? That is my favorite thing, to look for the loopholes and take them. So don't give loopholes. Be very clear and precise in your instructions. And if you want to, you could, let's say, name that. You could say to your partner when you're doing all the negotiating, when I say go get ready, what I mean is do these things. Kneel by the bed, naked, hands behind your back, eyes down. That's what I mean when I say go get ready. So that next time when I do say to you, go get ready, you know exactly what that means. And therefore, you can't be creatively disobedient. I have told you in advance what my expectations are.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't do that. That doesn't mean every single time you have to give the whole set of instructions. You can't come up with the code and explain what the code is and forevermore then use the code. The next skill is scene design and execution. Creative planning, right? Matching the scenes to the energy levels and emotions. And part of this is talking to your submissive beforehand about the scene. What is the goal in this scene? Is the goal for us to be laughing and having fun? Is the goal for it to be cathartic and maybe you'll be crying at the end? What are we hoping to achieve with this scene? And so that you can plan accordingly. Understand the pacing, building the tension versus jumping straight to action. One of my favorite things in a scene is, because again, sadist, is set up a false sense of security and then whack you really, really hard.
Is that sadist or is that bitch?
Same thing.
Oh, well.
Hello.
Sorry.
I guess I had a whole argument on threads about the fact that brat does not equal submissive and not every brat is submissive.
Right.
And somebody took my words and said, every sadist I know is a brat. And I went, that's all I've ever said. We are. Every sadist I know is a brat because we do shit like that. We lull you into this false sense of safety and then whack, we get you.
If every sadist is a brat, is every brat a sadist?
No.
Because if brats like to torture their partner.
No, sometimes I don't. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I'm not a submissive. So even when I'm bratting as a bottom, I am trying to torture you, but that's because I'm a sadist.
Right. Now I'm having a philosophical debate in my head.
To me, the bratting is one of my sadist tools. If I were to do an episode on the sadist's toolbox, bratting would be one of those tools.
I wonder how many people have that in their sadist toolbox.
A lot. I've seen you sometimes. You have it in yours. I've watched you.
I never said I didn't.
I've watched you. You have it in yours.
Yes.
Right? Remember, not every scene has to be this big Hollywood production. I laugh when I talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, so I'm planning this scene. And I figured out the lighting and the music and the tools that I'm using and this and that.
No, you do too much.
And I'm like going, you do you, boo.
You do too much.
My scene is planned by going, I'm going to hurt you. Well, for my sadistic scenes, then the ones that I have other ones that the goal is different. But
Rara, I don't believe you because you have an Excel spreadsheet for everything.
I don't for scenes. Because for me, I like to have flexibility in the moment, which is another part of the scene design. And for me, the flexibility is what's the energy the night that we're playing? Because I'm not playing in the privacy of my home. My scenes are always in the dungeon. What is the energy in the dungeon that night? Is it packed, filled with energy like at Risque?
Oh my God, especially our birthday party.
Right? Is it like our birthday party where it's overly packed and people are there specifically to see us? So my exhibition side is just in its glory. Shit. Is it that the person who is my bottom that night is going for cathartic, or are they going for just want to have fun and laugh, right? Girls just want to have fun, folks.
I was just thinking that. Could we get that to play one night?
I need to do that during a scene.
Yes.
The music. What music is playing in the background?
Oh, that's actually super important.
Right? So like at Risque, it's very much a club atmosphere with the hard beat. And that is a total different thing than when I'm doing at one of my other events. And they were playing, I think it was like a Cinco de Mayo event. And so there was a lot of Hispanic music playing, which has a very different beat and a very different feel to it, which affected me because I've been called out on this, both as a positive and maybe a negative. I tend to hit to the beat. I don't know why. That. I can't help myself. I say I'm not going to do it, and I do it anyway, just because it's fun for me. Being able to pivot when something isn't working. Is this toy working or is it not working?
Okay, the only thing I can think of right now is pivot! Pivot!
I saw a TikTok of this family that was moving a piece of furniture, and their little 5-year-old son is watching, yelling, pivot! And I thought, that is parenting done right.
Yes, it is. Good job.
You also have to be able to recognize when your sub's headspace has shifted. So I did a scene once, and I'm using this example even though she's not my submissive, but she does identify as a submissive. With Naughty and Nice, our scenes are laughter filled, and we joke and we fun, and she brats to me, which gives me an excuse to out brat her, and it's fun. But there was one particular night that whatever was going on, the scene energy changed and her headspace specifically shifted and it became a cathartic scene. And I recognized it. So I went from laughing and joking and talking with her to not talking so that she could just be in her own headspace and no response was needed from me unless I specifically was doing a check-in.
What did you notice that had changed?
She got more quiet. Her facial expression shifted from smiling and laughing to very serious, almost a little bit sad. I mean, I did check in to make sure she was still in the right headspace to continue the scene, but it was very obvious our scene continued. The energy had shifted into something cathartic. And for the first time and only time so far, the scene ended, she was crying.
Aw.
And we had to do aftercare, which we normally don't ever have to do after our scenes. But she was crying. So I sat with her and held her and cuddled her and gave her stuffy to hold and let her cry however much she needed to cry. Right? And that was my being flexible because it had changed. And it wasn't my place to try to change it back to the laughter and silliness that I prefer because it wasn't about me at that moment. It was about her.
Right.
And speaking of aftercare, you need to be prepared. And I'm going to say this is somebody who doesn't normally want or need aftercare. Submissives and dominants are both entitled to aftercare. And I mean that. The dominants are entitled to it as well. You need to plan for emotional drops so that if you are playing with your submissive, even if at the time they tell you, I don't need aftercare, then your response to them should be, okay, if that changes, here's what we can do. And make sure you make it crystal clear to them that you will be available to them if that changes, especially if this is somebody who you do not cohabitate with. You don't want them thinking when it's 2 or 3 days later after the scene and they're dropping that they can't reach out to you because you never negotiated aftercare. Again, but I will say aftercare itself is not mandatory, but the discussion of it during negotiations is. And if you are somebody who doesn't want to give aftercare, then you need to make that crystal clear from the get-go so that they can determine at that point whether they still even want to play with you. Some of them may say, yes, that's fine. I don't need aftercare. Some of them may say, yes, that's fine. I have this partner who can give me the aftercare. And some of them will say, thank you, but no thank you. Then I won't play with you.
Fair enough. All valid.
All valid. So just make sure you discuss it. But as the dominant, also be aware you may need to drop. If you've had the best scene and you are flying high from the amazing scene that you did with your submissive, there's a good chance that you're going to drop. Dom drop is real and it's valid. And it doesn't make you any less of a dom. If you identify as a man, it doesn't make you any less of a man because you've dropped. This is all just chemicals in your body, folks, of which you have zero control over. And what goes up must come down. The next tool is risk management. Understanding RAC, first of all, and just in case you're new here, risk-aware consensual kink, meaning, and knowing all the risks involved in your scene. And here we go, knowing the difference between a calculated risk and a reckless risk. I am all about the calculated risks. I will not do the reckless risks. Have a backup plan if something goes wrong. Are you prepared? Do you have an emergency plan if things get fucked up? And you should. That's part of your responsibility as the dominant. Using safe words and check-ins. Make sure you are having the conversation at the beginning. What does safe words mean? You can't just say, well, I use the traffic light system and expect that everybody is on the same page.
No, because we've seen several times that the traffic light system in and of itself, the only thing we ever have in common is green beans go.
Yeah.
Yellow and red are subjective.
So make sure that you are teaching your submissive exactly what each of those colors mean to you. You are welcome.
Seen people throw in blue.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to add additional ones, and I've seen people do things like either blue or orange or something where like blue means you can rev it up. Green means rev it up. Blue means keep it steady. This is the level I want to be at.
And Rah-Rah's ever popular super green.
Right? Well, you know what I also do? And I actually heard other people do this. I thought I was the only one who did it, but I'm not. Greenish yellow. Yellowish green.
Like Give me a number between 1 through 5, and you're like 3.5.
Yeah. It's like, if I'm greenish yellow, it means I'm still green, but I'm getting closer to yellow. That's yellowish. I never remember
Yellowish green?
Or yellowish green. Like
I think these are things that you need to explain a little more specifically when you're playing so people do not get confused between greenish yellow and yellowish green.
The only one I do this to is John.
Oh, well, then he doesn't need to know anything.
No, John figures it out fine. It's just, basically, I'm just letting you know that I'm getting close to the yellow. Is what that means. But I just like to be very specific. Just don't always know what I mean, right?
If you don't know what you mean, that's a problem.
Well, because, all right, have I ever told you about some of the conversations I have in my own head during impact scenes?
Yes.
All right. I will sit there, and this happened.
Am I good? Do I really want to keep? Maybe if he changes the spot,
right?
I think that's
or a lot of times it's like, should I be saying yellow? Do I need to say yellow? Am I done? Can I keep going? I don't know right. I literally, this entire monologue is going through my head. And it was really funny because I did this with a hot Asian guy. And I finally had reached the point where I'm like, maybe I should call yellow at this point. Maybe I should, or red, or maybe I should stop this at this point. And just as I reached that point, he stopped. Mm-hmm. So it kind of, I don't know. I know I wasn't out loud. But he must have somehow figured it out, or just dumb
something
luck.
In your body language, yeah.
Some dumb luck that he knew. But it was pretty funny. Did I tell you he's going to be coming over for my blood play party?
Yes, you did, and I'm jealous, but I'm also not coming.
I understand. His partner is really into blood play, and so she's working really hard on him, and I'm going to help her. Anyway, so make sure that you are noticing nonverbal cues if they can't speak, right? Like I talk about my toes. If my toes are curling, that means something. If they're kind of leaning away from you, body language is really important.
I've had somebody one time who lost the power of speech in the middle of a scene, completely went nonverbal, but started flicking her fingers. That was like the only thing she could come up with. And I just looked at it and I was like, okay, that means something. Hey, immediate check-in. Hey.
Right.
You good?
Dara brings up an excellent point, right? Some submissives go nonverbal. So you have to be prepared.
I absolutely do. I start making noises like, so I call it nonverbal because I don't speak, but I do grunt. Like, and Daddy J has gotten very, very good at translating my grunts. I'll go, okay, honey, but you have to do that anyway.
Well, that's an I don't wanna. Even I can tell with that thing.
Or like a, I don't even know what that was, but I've done it. And he's gotten really good at translating this. Like,
yeah.
Do you need to go to bed?
And if I've gone nonverbal, call 911. We have an emergency. I'm dying. Dead.
Rah-rah's a corpse.
The other thing you need to be aware of is, unfortunately, some submissives are afraid to use their safe word. And it may have nothing to do with you. It may be previous relationships. It may be peer pressure from other submissives. Some submissives are really afraid of disappointing you. Your happiness is so important to them. They're afraid that if they, you've been talking about doing the scene. And so you're like, oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I want to do the scene. And they're like, oh, if I safe word now. And they were so excited. I ruin everything. So you really need to make sure that you are, one, telling them in advance the importance of them using their safe words, and that you would never be disappointed or angry if they use their safe words. As I always tell them, I will be more upset if you don't use it when you needed to.
Yeah, for me too. Seriously, that is some big shit. If you don't use it, and to me, that's basically lying to me.
Yeah, it's a trust issue.
It is.
I need to be able to trust that if you can, you will use your safe word. If they do happen to use their safe word, make sure you're praising them. Because I will tell you, the majority of the time somebody's used a safe word for me, at some point, they end up apologizing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It just seems to be naturally, I stop and they're like, I'm so sorry. Okay. Praise them. Let them know how proud you are of them, how much you appreciate, how it helps build the trust. Make a big fucking stink about it from a positive standpoint.
And in Electro, we actually have a nonverbal safe word. If you're using the handheld tool that kind of puts everything in reverse, or not reverse, well, it can be reverse, but indirect mostly. If they drop it, that's red. They don't want that electricity anymore. They don't want that tool anymore. They want off this ride. And you go, oh my God, hey, awesome. Good job doing that. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. You know, what part about this did you not like?
Yeah. And you also, again, want to focus on the nonverbal and watch the body language. Make sure you are educating yourself. Always be learning new kinks, new techniques, new safety protocols. One of the things that I have noticed is a lot of these online classes seem to be geared more toward the skills classes are geared for the dominants. And then the soft skills, like the communication, that kind of stuff, seem to be geared for submissives.
Well, that's not right because dominants need good communication too.
Right. So I'm saying take them anyway. And submissives, take the skills one, because the more you know, the more you can follow rack.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next tool is your emotional and psychological tools. Building and maintaining trust. Trust is built through consistency, right? The difference between a dom who checks in after a scene versus one who disappears. Now, here's what's interesting, right? I will tell you 99% of the scenes that I do as the bottom, my partners don't check in with me the next day. I personally am okay with that, but I'm also not looking for a dominant. So that's fine. I don't identify as a submissive and I'm not looking for dominant, so that's fine. And most of the scenes that I do as the bottom, those are with my friends. They know me well enough and they trust me well enough that if there's an issue, I will let them know. I will tell you on the other side is the top. The only time I don't check in on the demos.
No.
Because I don't know these people.
And there's also too many of them.
Right? But if I do an actual scene that's not a demo scene with you, I will absolutely check in with you the next day. I don't even ask you if you want me to. I tell you, I'm going to check in with you. And then depending upon the discussion during that first check-in and how intense the scene was, I may check in with you again on the second day.
Well, you remember that one dude that came over and basically went into an absolute fucking trance after you beat him?
Mm-hmm.
That needed a check-in.
Yeah. I do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's important. Another one is encouraging growth and development, helping your submissive grow while also improving yourself as a dominant, right? Maybe you have a submissive who's starting out shy, but through your patient leadership, they are becoming more comfortable in social situations and are blossoming, okay? Well, it was your patient leadership that helped them do that. So you're working and growing on your patience. Like I would tell you, as somebody who is such an extrovert, having a shy partner would be very difficult for me. And I would really need to work on my patience.
Well, yeah. You got to be more patient with me, rah. I'm not shy, but I'm also an introvert.
Yeah.
So
there's a difference. I'm talking about shyness versus, I understand introverts in the sense that that's different than being shy. Here's a fun one. Managing your emotional intensity and managing to stay calm under pressure.
See, and here's the thing. That's really, 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 really difficult for neurodivergent people. It is actually one of the factors of being neurodivergent is that you don't have as good a regulatory system when it comes to that. It's 0 or 10.
Can I hustle again for a minute?
Sure.
We're actually going to be offering through Kink Institute a class for ADHD kinksters on both sides of the slash. And I believe this class is going to be
July.
I've actually got the next 4 months of Kink Institute classes scheduled.
And I assume I'm September.
Yes.
Because there have been requests.
Right. So I still have to fill out August, October, November. And that's it. Otherwise, this whole year has been scheduled. Right. I've been hustling.
Well, I'll do another one because I still want to do the audio one that we kind of neglected last year.
That for me, see, now this is where I am really good because of the caretaker side of me. This helping a submissive who's having an unexpected emotional reaction, I do very well at. With the caveat that if they are having, or maybe it's just because I'm a mom and that hurt with my own child who does have sometimes, he's on the spectrum, having the TISM meltdowns. I don't have a lot of patience for the TISM meltdowns. So that's something that I'm working on and trying to understand better, that sometimes you can't necessarily control these things.
Yeah.
But it may also be because I'm his mother and there's a different level of expectation than I do from a submissive who I didn't raise.
You have
them.
more patience with the submissive.
Yes, and I do them with my own child. And anybody who's a parent understands.
Yeah.
I could see another child crying and be totally okay, and my own child, I'm having my own meltdown over it. It's very different. Understanding power dynamics and authority transfers, right? Knowing when to lead, when to push, and when to step back. You really need to be flexible in adjusting your approach based upon what your submissive needs at that point. And it's not a one something fits all.
One size fits all?
Thank you. Oh my God. The brain.
And you were whining about me not knowing Peter Parker's uncle said a thing?
I just had a brain fart. It happens.
I had a brain fart too, and you made fun of me.
It's part of what I do. It's my shtick.
It's your bitch.
It's my shtick. That is, my bitch is my shtick.
Your bitch stick?
That's what I have, a bitch shtick.
Oh God, we need to get you a staff, like a Ren Fair staff, but
And
it has to be pink
and has a bitch on it.
Bitch stick.
I saw an elderly woman with a cane the other day, like a walking cane.
Yeah,
that was bedazzled, and I just looked. I had to stop her and say, "Really like your cane?" And all I kept thinking is, when I get to the point and I need that, that will be me.
Have I shown you mine?
No, you have not shown me. Did you bedazzle it?
I did not, but it is rose gold.
Okay. It needs to be bedazzled. Her thing was just rhinestones.
Well, so here's the thing. I don't want to bedazzle it with rhinestones. Clearly, I'm going to bedazzle it with gears.
There you go.
And like, I have goth stickers. Black roses and drippy candles and, creepy bird cages and shit. I'm going to put that all over my cane. Oh my God, that'll be so badass.
It'd be so cool.
I love it.
So one size does not fit all, and you need to be constantly adjusting based upon how they're doing. All right, so this is an important segment. I've listed this as segment 3.5, but it's its own little segment. Checking your ego at the door.
Very important.
Okay, ego can be a dominant's worst enemy. One of the biggest mistakes that I see new doms make tends to be thinking that dominance means that you are always right.
No.
But here's the reality.
Being little means you're always right, not being dominant.
Stop. Well, so if you're a little dominant, then you are always right?
About half the time.
Okay. Here's the reality check. Authority transfer is really about trust, not superiority. And dominant and submissive are just two sides of the same coin. They're equals. There's no one better than the other. You can't do one without the other. They're symbiotic. It is about trust, not. What's the matter?
You used a science word.
I used a fancy word. Are you so proud of me?
I am, and you pronounced it correctly.
In my family, we call those SAT words.
I saw
you used an SAT word.
I saw a thing the other day that was on TikTok, and the guy was saying that fetuses are parasites.
Technically, they are.
Yes, they are. And it was he's used the term parasitic relationship. And I was like, oh, wow, we're getting fancy and sciencey right now.
Yeah. As somebody who's had 3 children, they are parasites. And just because they come out of your body doesn't make them any less of a parasite.
100%. I am still a parasite from my mother. I am sorry. I will admit that freely. My mom texted. Okay, so my anniversary is coming up this week. And it's it's an important one. And my mother texted me this morning. She goes, should I make a reservation at this restaurant because, this and this is happening on this day? I was like, I was going to just do it online. But if you want to do it for me, that'd be great. I was like, go ahead, mommy. You can do it for me. I'm the millennial that doesn't like to talk on the phone.
Okay. That's actually a sign of a healthy relationship versus my hyper independence, which apparently is childhood trauma. I always thought that was amazing. Look at me, pat on the back. I'm hyper independent. And TikTok has taught me that is not a good thing.
I think
Dr. TikTok.
My therapist. Diagnosing.
My therapist, Dr. TikTok.
I don't think, okay, so I am definitely not hyper independent. I am independent enough. But if my mom wants to do that for me, I'm not going to stop her.
Yeah, no, I would. See, that's it. I would. I'm hyper independent. It's a problem.
No, she asked me, what time do you want? And blah, blah, blah. And we discussed the restaurant and all of this. And I was like, okay, you go ahead.
Because I don't trust my mom to do technology. So it's all right.
I was literally just going to do the reserve table on Google.
Yeah.
That's how I was going to do it. She's going to straight up call them and everything. Okay, boomer.
We talk about, they're always right. Yeah, they're not. Okay.
Glad we got there.
I just forgot for a minute. A dominant, for example, a dominant who leads with their ego is a dominant who's going to lose their submissive's trust. And the example I'm going to give is, and we talked about this already, a dominant who gets upset when a submissive safe words. Instead of recognizing it as a wonderful, amazing thing that the submissive trusts you implicitly, right? If your first reaction to a safe word is to say, why did you just stop my scene?
No.
Congratulations, your ego just hijacked your brain and ruined everything.
Oh, and that's going to be so double trauma for the submissive. Jesus Christ.
Right? Learning from mistakes without losing authority. Guess what, folks? Dominants will make mistakes. And how you handle them is what defines your leadership. I have always said this. I'm not going to judge you based upon your mistakes. I'm going to judge you based upon how you handle those mistakes. Now, will I judge you when you make the same mistake over and over and over again? Yes, but that's because you did not handle the first mistake properly. You need to constantly be looking at any mistake you made, acknowledging it without getting defensive, apologize sincerely, and by apologizing sincerely, not the, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Oh, that's such shit.
Right?
I hate that.
But maybe I see where I messed up and I'll do better. That's a sincere apology. And then take action to correct it. Figure out why you made that mistake and what you can do next time so the mistake does not repeat itself.
I'm the person that needs to apologize through ChatGPT because my apologies sound snarky as shit, especially written ones.
Well, because it is.
Yep.
A dominant who is refusing to admit fault is, I like this. Ready for this one? This is fun. It's like a GPS that won't reroute. You're just going to end up lost.
That is pretty good.
The next thing is knowing when to lead versus when to listen. I'm sure you've heard this one. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that is the percentage of listening to speaking you should be doing.
Yes, I've heard that. All my life.
Right? The ego way is I'm in charge, so my way is best. But being confident without being egotistical is I'm in charge, but I value input from my submissive. And then actually listening to your submissive. The best dominants are going to be adaptable. If something isn't working, don't double down. You need to pivot.
I didn't know which word you were going with. I was like, be flexible, pivot. Pivot. All right, wait. That's it.
That's the no context.
That's it.
Pivot.
Hang on. And I have to do the GIF.
Yes, you have to.
Okay.
Okay.
So, is it GIF or GIF?
Yes.
Which one?
Okay, according to the guy who created it,
it's GIF.
It's GIF.
No, that's peanut butter. Fuck
but
you.
He's wrong. Because you don't say a gift. A gift is not GIFT.
God.
It's GIF.
Well, it's Jeffrey with a G sometimes.
Sometimes. So, yeah. Anyway, the guy who invented them says it's the J sound.
Well, no, he's wrong because it's not peanut butter.
Just because he invented it, he's wrong.
I don't care.
Yeah. Make sure you are handling challenges to your authority without overreacting.
I know. Wait. No, I'm sorry. I have to. I know what it is. HIF.
No.
No?
No.
Damn it.
No. No, Jesus.
That's with a J anyway. This is with a G, so it doesn't matter. I was just being stupid. Good.
Okay. Handling challenges to authority without overreacting. It is not a personal attack if your submissive is asking you for clarification. Just because your subs questions something doesn't mean that they're actually staging a coup.
I might be.
Tara might be, but that's the little in her. Right? A submissive challenging a rule during negotiation. Your response to them can't just be, I said so. That's never going to work. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this about my pride or the integrity of my dynamic? And answer accordingly. If it's about your pride, more power to you, but the dynamic is not going to work.
And then pivot.
I'm just going to say that the whole time.
Yes, pivot! I have proof. I should just hold up the GIF every time.
The power of humility and dominance. All right. A dominant who can laugh at themselves is actually going to be much more respected and well thought of than one who refuses to admit that they have flaws. You have to be able to laugh. You made a mistake. You done fucked up. Laugh at yourself. I do it. I'm like going, oy vey. That was stupid. Or as listen, we've done it during this conversation where I'm like, oh shit, I had a brain fart.
Yeah, no, I think we've both established that we don't have brains today.
Yeah. I have a brain, it's just not turned on. But I have it.
We should call this the Brainless Podcast.
Okay. No, we only have brainless moments. So in college,
here we go.
Freshman year of college, I took English 101 with a teacher whose name I shall never forget, even though we are talking this happened in 1987, folks. Okay?
I was 4.
I know. Oh, I'm sorry. It didn't happen. Oh, God, no, that's when I graduated college. This happened in 1983.
I was born.
Yes.
Okay.
My English 101 teacher's name was Miss Tinkle.
Seriously?
Now you know why I don't ever forget it, even though this was 40 years ago.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
So we had to create a word or phrase and then write a paper defining it, how it should be used. And I came up with the name Bubble Brain. And I felt Bubble Brain was a good phrase because it showed, one, that you do have a brain. So you are an intelligent person. But at the moment, a bubble has formed in the brain where you can't think or you don't remember something or whatever.
It's like a force field.
But then the bubble will burst and you can think of the name or the phrase or whatever it is. So it's a temporary thing. And bubbles, and by saying a bubble brain, people like bubbles. Bubbles make people happy and smile. So you're taking out the negativity from it.
It sounds very little.
I got an A on the paper, needless to say, from Miss Tinkle. But that's what we're having, bubble brain moments.
Is it similar to pregnancy brain?
Yes.
Okay. I've never experienced this.
And here's my theory, having had 2 boys and 1 girl. You are more stupid when you are pregnant with a boy.
Well, yes.
I'm about to get in trouble for this. So send me all the hate mail, leave Dar out of it. Because you have a penis in you, so you get stupid.
I've heard that theory. It's true. I wouldn't know personally, but yes, I agree.
You get extra stupid because of the penis in you. That's all I'm saying. A submissive should feel comfortable and safe in bringing any concerns to their dominant and not be worried about backlash that their dominant thinks this is a coup and this is an issue and that they're fighting them. The ultimate ego check is submissive feedback. Ask your submissive for feedback and accept it gracefully.
Oh, shit. No, that's the hard part right there.
If your submissive can't comfortably give you feedback, something is wrong. You can have regular check-ins like, how are you feeling about our dynamic? Or is there anything for me that I haven't been providing? When the scene is over, how did that scene work for you? What did you like? What didn't you like? The more you allow your submissive to contribute and give you feedback, the better you will become as a dominant and the better your dynamic will become. Right? If dominance is about growing your dynamic, then that includes you in that growth. All right, so let's talk about some problem solving and conflict resolution issues that should be part of your toolbox. Addressing common challenges, making sure that handling bratty behavior versus genuine miscommunication, right? If your sub is testing you, figure out what's going on. Is it that they're testing you because they want you to prove that you've earned, that they should give you their trust? Or are they acting out because the rules you set up aren't working? Or is it that maybe you two aren't compatible and this just isn't working? If they're shutting down in the dynamic, what's going on? Again, is it that there's a specific issue to them, or is that the issue is for the dynamic? Constantly have regular check-ins to reassess your dynamics and ensure that you and your partner are aligned. Get that feedback from them that we just talked about with checking your ego, right? Get that feedback from them. Give them feedback and then adjust your approach. Make sure you are giving yourself self-care, right? Burnout is real. And a dominant who takes on too much may have to step back. And I'm going to give a shout out to our friends over at Loving BDSM. If you are a dominant who is feeling burnout and feeling overwhelmed, which then is resulting you maybe not being able to be there as much for your submissive, check out Kayla and John at Loving BDSM. They have done episodes on this very subject matter.
because John has back problems and had a while where because of all the pain he was in from his back, he kind of couldn't be the dominant for Kayla that they both wanted him to be. And they did some really great episodes to talk about that. So I'll give them a shout out. But if you are overwhelmed, if you have too much on your own plate, then sometimes how can you help your submissive? How can you take on their issues when you have no spoons left? Make sure you are fostering fun in this dynamic. Come up with some playful, fun ideas. Use some punishment in the dynamic and have fun with it. Giggles, jokes, create a silly scene. Whatever you need to do to put more laughter and joy into it. I know everybody likes to think of DS as this serious thing, but the truth is we're human beings and we need laughter, and laughter is the best medicine.
Look, it's supposed to be fun. That's why we do it.
That's why we call it play, right? You're playing. And personalize the toolbox, your toolbox. Find out what works for you. If you love protocol, incorporate more protocol into your dynamic. If you love chaos, be with a brat. They'll give you all, or little. Either one will give you chaos. And if you can find a little who's a brat, there's your ultimate chaos.
Yeah, a little brat dom is, I feel, the most ultimate horror story to bring upon a relationship, right?
I wouldn't know. But all of this can work with you. So I think the important thing that I want you all to take away from this is that dominance is about leadership, not control. You are not a dictator. A dominant does not equal dictator. And if you are submissive listening to this, hi. But if you run into somebody who is acting more like a dictator than a dominant, this is your cue. Run far and run fast.
A dictator. Sounds like a potato dick.
Okay. I'm going to just have to take your word for this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Because tater.
Right? Your toolbox should always be growing. You should always be learning. Any expectation you have of your submissive to learn and grow, you should be having on yourself too. Because that is what will matter. That is what will keep your DS relationship healthy as long as you're both learning and growing. And again, check that ego at the door, because that's only going to get you in trouble. I invite you guys, if there's anything you think we forgot to include in here as far as tools in your dominant toolbox, please write in, let us know. Interact with our posts on social media. I'm sure I'll be putting up a post at some point asking what's in your dominant toolbox. Let us know. And remember that dominance, it's not a job title. It's an entire craft. And it is ever growing, ever evolving, ever changing. And have fun with it. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a minute of our fun and educational content. New episodes drop every Friday.
If you love what we do and want to help us keep creating, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast. You can also support our affiliates to benefit small businesses and us at the same time.
No extra cash? No problem. You can still help by spreading the word about your favorite kinky podcast. Share us with your friends, and don't forget to rate and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Those 5-star reviews mean the world to us. And those 5-star reviews go a long way in boosting our podcast through the algorithm and reaching more listeners.
Sign up for our Pink Kink Institute classes. Shop at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique. Stay connected with us on social media. You'll find all the links on our link tree posted in the show notes.
Your support means the world to us. So until next time, stay pink
and level up your kink knowledge.